Hello, everybody out there in YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and we bullshit about nothing. Our bullshit this week, or at least in this particular video, is going to be about a particular Marvel movie that was released out on November 4th. We are talking about Marvel's newest release movie, Doctor Strange, in which we all had the grand experience of going and seeing this morning. We know it might be a day late in comparison to other people's reviews, but we saw it and we're talkative folks, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about it right now. Gentlemen, the floor is open. First impressions, things that you liked first.
First things first, let's just get this out of the way. We went to see it in IMAX 3D. Yeah, we actually went to do that, and I have to say that this movie and 3D goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
It was done correctly for the functions of 3D. And I really appreciate seeing it in 3D. Other than that, first impressions, great story. Didn't take too long to get down to it. It didn't waste time. It didn't insult us by any means necessary. And since we went into it as to say that, okay, we had to jettison the thought of it being connected to the comic books in any way, we went in open-minded and we went in with pretty much even expectations, not too high, not too low.
Yep.
But movie was good.
Cool. Well, what about you, Green Mouse? What were your thoughts, or what did you like about it?
Look at the graphics. Look at the graphics. Look at the graphics.
In 3D.
Yeah, if you're going to go see this movie, definitely see it in IMAX 3D. You will not regret that one bit. It was my first impression of the movie, like the theme said, go in with an open mind and just sit back and enjoy a really good Marvel movie.
Yep. To say the least, I gotta say, sitting there in front of the IMAX screen and actually watching it in 3D, this particular movie is definitely worth it. It was made with that in mind. The folks who did the CGI and the animations and all of the design and everything like that, they designed a lot of that stuff with IMAX 3D in mind, and it shows. There's a huge difference in your viewing experience if you're watching this as a regular movie, or if you go out of your way, even if you're watching it just in 3D, the effects and the way that everything is set up will make a difference. But if you want the full experience, yeah, you'd want to shell out the extra money. Now, this particular movie, just like a lot of other Marvel movies, is highly enjoyable. It moved very fast. It moved really fast. And I'm actually kind of thankful that they didn't spend a huge amount on it's an origin story, so it has to sit there and go through like what turns him into a hero, what turns Dr. Stephen Strange into a hero, and how he actually deals with his first adventure out as an actual magician or sorcerer. The movie moves really fast. It doesn't spend a lot of time, showing him going through the learning curve and
trial and error. Yeah, it didn't spend a lot of time on that.
It didn't spend a lot of time on that, but when it did go ahead and actually, when it stepped away from that, there were a lot of times in the movie, even in the times where it was just like, he's just kind of figuring things out, that the movie didn't give you very much time to sit there and catch your breath and think about things. It was very overwhelming visually. With all the things that it was throwing at you in 3D.
Not only the 3D, but the comedy was just right.
Yeah.
They fed us the right amount of comedy, and they fed us the right amount of time to adjust and recover from that comedy. Because there was a lot of comedy in this movie, and that's what really kept things going.
And it wasn't just like a bunch of one-liners that were like shoveled in at a rapid fire pace like Avengers Age of Ultron, where it was just a lot of one-liners being shoved in. Although it was an enjoyable movie, I think it not as good as the first one. But you know, if you're thinking, oh, if people are saying it's funny, that means everybody's gonna be saying stupid shit all the time. No, that's not the case with this particular one. Yeah,
It wasn't really the comedy, though. It wasn't really people saying things. Though. It was what was happening on the screen that was hilarious.
It was both,
Yeah.
but it wasn't forced comedy.
No,
It's not like we're trying to be funny.
fit.
We're trying to be funny. We're trying to be funny.
No, it wasn't like the Ghostbusters 2016.
That was trying to be funny.
I'm just saying.
That was trying to be a movie.
I'm just saying. So yeah, but one thing I was talking to the theme, you know, offline and everything. And I was like, you know what? After I seen it in IMAX 3D, I was sitting there like, you know what? I don't even want to buy the DVD and see it on my little small screen TV at the house. You know, it was just that such of an experience to watch that. I mean, I was even talking to him, you know, coming back, was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing this movie again. You know, it's that much of an experience that it was like, I mean, everything was right there in your face the way it's supposed to be. And then if we're going to start getting into the story and whatever, it's just some of the places and the time warp stuff, the buildings and all that. You know, you're sitting there and you're like, with your mouth agape, like, oh my God, you know, like you said earlier, you know, it's just completely visual overdose, man. You know, you felt like you're on acid or something watching this movie. You're like,
hey, now wait a minute.
Whoa!
Doctor Strange thought he was on acid.
Yeah, it's like, whoa! It was completely done the way it was supposed to. And I mean, if you have any thoughts on the comic, you know, they do it. It's different from when they do it in the comic book versus having that with 3D glasses on and having all that stuff just right there in front of your face.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is definitely great. And a lot of people, one of the things that I think everybody in this particular video would go ahead and agree about is that the visuals and the visual styling of the movie are great. Completely stunning. It's very rare that I get wowed a lot when I go to the movies, but this one had a lot of wow factor. And I know a lot of people out there are going to sit there and they're going to pull parallels and they're going to compare it to Inception or Paprika. The thing about it is that yes, a lot of the concepts that were borrowed from and used for some of the visuals that they used in Inception and also in Paprika, the same concepts are used visually on Doctor Strange. But you also have to realize that those particular works were heavily influenced by M.C. Escher, who is, I believe, a Swedish artist who did a lot of mathematical and geometrical type designs, who's famous for that type of stuff. And he's the guy who actually kind of put that out first before they even put it in motion. You know, that's where they ended up getting a lot of the inspiration for a lot of the visuals for both Inception and Paprika. That's not to say that the movie is perfect. If we reach in here, we could probably find a few things to go ahead and criticize. And I want to go ahead and give you guys an opportunity to throw them out there for people to consider. Just to show that we're just not just filleting this movie mindlessly.
Okay, look, it's not that they could have went into more detail, especially, okay, Dr. Stephen Strange. It's like, wait a second, he's broke now? That's all he has left? How? You know, they didn't emphasize on that when he was trying to, because, he gets to a car accident by texting and driving or looking at his phone and driving. And yeah, don't do that shit, by the way. We hate when motherfuckers do that shit in real life. Gets into a car accident, a bad car accident, and has nerve damage in his fucking arms and hands and shit, and fucking, so he can't be a fucking surgeon anymore. He can't be a doctor anymore.
Yep.
He's just trying to find an answer on to cure himself, and, well, not cure himself, to heal himself. And it's like, okay, did he spend all of his fortune searching for a way? Because this motherfucker was loaded. This motherfucker is like multiple watches spinning, badass car, fucking penthouse, and all that. It's like, damn, wait, did he pawn everything that he owned and fucking just, became poor to look for a way to fix his hands? They left that part out, really, especially if that was all that he had left. And
well, for me, my I don't call it a discord, but it's just that spoilers.
What?
Well, I don't want.
I just said a couple of points of the movie.
Well, the thing is that I think they tried too hard to fold the Infinity Gems into the movie, kind of. It's like I kind of thought, I knew they were going to. I knew you have to. I understand that, but I felt that at the towards the end when old boy, he actually called it an Infinity Stone. I was like, I just felt like the story. I just felt like it didn't need to be said.
That's kind of true, but we had already figured it out.
We figured it out as soon as we saw it.
As soon as we saw it. And as soon as they start talking about time, we're done here. And that was basically what the movie was all about. An origin story for Strange on how he became, and the time stone. That was the main two things, or thwarting off threats and finding out mystical things and deception along the way.
Well, I know they had to get that in, to continue the Infinity, to work up.
Well, the stone is what saved the day.
Yeah, but it just felt like I think that Doctor Strange could actually stand on its own without having an Infinity Gem thrown in. I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong, Reverend, was it the Eye of
Agamotto?
Agamotto, yeah. I mean, that did not have to be the time gem. It really
no, it didn't.
And that's what I was like. I felt that the story could have stood on its own without bringing in. Okay, we got to bring this to a point to where it connects to the other Marvel. I understand, I do, but I really think that the story that they were telling, the origin story of Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange, I think was enough weight to hold the story together without adding that, okay, the Eye of, what is it again?
Agamotto.
Agamotto is a gem.
Wait, what? I'll say, you're saying that kind of like the way Ant-Man was?
Yeah.
That it stood on its own.
Yeah, it literally stood on its own. I mean, the movie was...
Because even Guardians of the Galaxy had a gem that it came to.
And I just think that maybe the movie could have had more potential if it wasn't wrapped around the Infinity War.
Well, what about Guardians?
Yeah, that too, absolutely. And Ant-Man, absolutely.
Well, Ant-Man didn't bring a gem involved.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
Oh,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
Guardians did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, I just felt like this movie could stand on its own without a thing that Doctor Strange has anyway. Through like you said, throughout the comic, that they had it in the comic books. But the thing
it as
a gem. So what's going on? So one thing that a lot of people are not realizing is, okay, once the gem gets out of the items, what are they now? They're still, you know what I mean? It's still a sacred item that Doctor Strange has and Thor has. Let's talk about the whole. And then when you start taking the special gem out of it, just like what's his name, Vision. The mind gem.
The mind stone.
When you start taking these things apart to go on to the ultimate glove or the gauntlet,
the power glove,
and I just. That's one thing that I felt that was bad about the movie was that I felt that it was a good enough story to stand on its own, and for you to throw in, to make something that's already a part of Doctor Strange, an Infinity Gem all of a sudden.
Well, that's what they did with the Age of Ultron with Vision.
Yeah.
With the creation of Vision.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you did it again. And it's starting to be repetitive.
Objection on that.
Wait a minute. What about the Tesseract? The Tesseract is a fucking stone within itself, and that's what started all of this.
Well, Reverend has a
Objection.
Objection on both your points. Well, not so much an objection, maybe an addendum. All right, one of the things that we have to realize with the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that they are contained separately from the comic books, and they are working toward a obviously
final,
and that's why
a final destination. So
no, I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but
no, you just said you did.
No. But Gray Mouse is saying that it could have been a standalone movie on its own.
Yeah, but then what happens is that then what happens is that everybody is sitting there saying, "Oh, we're already 14 fucking movies in. We still don't have all the Infinity Gems."
But that was what I was trying to say as well, because I was like, "Wait a minute, you had all these other movies that centered around the gems as well."
You're right, though.
Like the Ether. The Ether is a fucking
but
gem,
what I'm saying,
and that's what one of the stories was all about.
What's
going
to happen when the gems are gone? What's going to happen to all those artifacts when the gem was taken out?
Well, one artifact is done. Loki's scepter's finished.
Well, yeah.
That's over with. It's all the rest of them that are in certain places and that are still whatever they're supposed to be.
Is Doctor Strange going to be Doctor Strange without the Eye of...
Yeah, because he was without it.
Yeah.
He was doing all his shit without it.
Yeah.
He just did it to stop
the
time loop. Oh, my God, the time loop.
Okay. We'll save that.
Go back to
save that for later. Save that for later. All right. No, we're going to keep this moving on. All right. All right. The thing with Doctor Strange and him losing all his money, that didn't strike me that much that bad, because when Rachel McAdams, the Dr. Christine, came in and she was helping him out before he decided to make his journey east, she said it straight out. She's like, it wasn't like you were saving money anyways. You're spending it just as fast as you were making it.
Yeah.
All right. He didn't save anything. So even then, all the stuff that he was spending his money on before he had pretty much lost all hope and went and traveled east, it was all experimental medical procedures that cost in the hundreds of thousands of dollars every time he did it. Now, to go along with the theme, though, a lot of that stuff, like I said before, the movie moves really, really fast. It didn't seem like it spent so much time, kind of building his situation or whatnot.
That's what I was leading up to.
Even when he actually started, when he finally shows up and he finds the Ancient One and everything else, it was like, okay, well, are we gonna do the Iron Man thing where, maybe we're gonna hit 20 or 30 minutes here or there, show him go through the trial and error, actually showing all this? No, it pretty much got to the point where, like, in 15, 20 minutes, he was slinging full-blown spells.
Yep.
And he was, astrally projecting himself to go ahead and study things while he was physically sleeping and other things like that. It moves really, really fast. Yeah. The other thing that I'd have to say is definitely a negative, and this is something that's become a common occurrence in the Marvel movies, is that the bad guy that Mads Mikkelsen played, he was this big mean dude, right? Or he was like this formal person, but it's never really got a sense that I never got a sense that Doctor Strange was going to lose, because we know that he's going to show up in other movies and we know that he's going to be part of the saga and all of that. So maybe it's just a byproduct of the Marvel movies themselves, and their
that's a byproduct of pretty much any superhero movie.
Yeah, of and the nature of knowing that they're going to show up in further movies in the continuity and things like that. It was just kind of, he was. I think he could have been a more interesting character if they spent a little bit more time on him. Maybe show some of the people that quote unquote die only to be saved later, actually dying by his hands, going through things. But yeah, that was I'd have to say one of the weaker things that happened during the movie. Okay. Now let's continue on toward, okay, big spoiler warnings. All right. Let's continue on toward the ending of the movie and what this means to other Marvel movies, because if we don't mention that, okay, then it might be hard to sit there and understand where this actually lies in the Marvel continuity. What did you guys think about the ending, including the fact that they involved, the Infinity Stones and everything, and with with Doctor Strange and all of that.
Again, with the time gem, the time stone, the time loop.
Yeah.
I mean, it was understandable on why that had to happen like that. And it was kind of funny the way it was happening.
You know what was funny is that, again, kind of relating to the whole problem with Marvel villains, them not seeming to be that much of a threat. Even though Dormammu is like this huge extra dimensional being that rules the dimension of darkness and all of that.
Yeah.
For it didn't. I couldn't get caught up in the thought that that Doctor Strange was going to lose against him.
No.
Yeah. At no time at all, it was kind of hard to believe that he was going to lose against him. Although he did die multiple times, in fact. But no, he of course, being the Sorcerer Supreme and the hero of this movie, he ends up triumphing over the Dormammu, the evil entity, and he ends up saving the day.
I'm here to bargain.
Take one.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Take one, take two, take three.
What about you, Graymouse? What did you think about the ending and everything there?
I thought it was pretty ingenious how he used the time loop to get what he wanted.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't think they could have beaten Dormammu. How do you spell it?
Dormammu.
Dormammu. Well, that's the thing about it. They didn't beat him.
That's what I'm saying.
He
He
just
beat him in his own game.
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. And then he's like, and then Dormammu realized that he was captured. He was, Doctor Strange's slave.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Like, look, it's not like he interdimensionally blew him up.
He tried. I mean, he died like in 15 different ways, and Doctor Strange was like, look, we could do this for eons, man, and while you're concentrating on me, Earth is safe.
Yeah. I mean, and they really don't discuss how many iterations he actually went through.
No, they just showed us like maybe 10 or 12.
Yeah.
But that shit just probably was going on for a long period of time.
And then after all that, after the bargain, he came down or back to Earth, and
then he still reverses time.
And yeah.
The reverse time scene was a great fucking scene.
Yep.
Because you had certain motherfuckers moving forward in time and everything else moving backwards. And shit forming and getting put back together, and certain people were crushed and uncrushed, and
then it was like some people were released from the time where you could stand outside of time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And they were
like
battling.
Yeah.
They were battling like outside of time, and I was like, damn. And trapping motherfuckers into places where, and then it gets rebuilt, and they were trapped there for a bit. That was pretty interesting to say the least.
Especially in 3D.
Oh, in 3D. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. The ending was, it suited it. It really did. It's
like I say, they won, but they didn't beat. They didn't conquer. They didn't blow up the main threat.
It was very much kind of the ending, the way that that Doctor Strange actually goes ahead and resolves things, very much reminds me of a lot of the old fairy tales where you have like the wise man or the witty traveler someplace who outwits like the giants or the gods or the titans or whatnot.
Yeah.
It was basically very much a parallel to like David and Goliath. You have somebody who has their powers. It's not very great in comparison to the foe they're facing, but they just know how to use it correctly in a way where it's like, all right, I've got this person checkmate, and this is going to work out because I've outfought my enemy, and that was actually really impressive considering that. Yeah, a lot of the Marvel movies, it's like, oh, yeah, so what happens to the big bad guy at the end? Oh, he ends up getting disintegrated or blown up. you know, and that wasn't the case.
That wasn't the case. He just left Earth Realm as it is.
And took the bad guys whipping.
The Zealots, I guess they call them.
The Zealots, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Okay. Before we go on to final thoughts, what were your favorite moments in the movie? Since we've already delved deep into spoilers and everything else.
Moments. Are you serious?
Well, yeah.
I know, because you wanted to be very specific with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, man. You want to go first? Because I have to sit here and think.
Yeah, I could go first. I liked. All right, one aspect is, like I said, I like the 3D animation, the 3D graphics. One of my favorite parts was after the car wreck and after the surgery, and his hands were like sitting up here like this, and they really look like an extension of your own hands when you're sitting there, and all those pins and stuff in it. I was like, yes. And another thing too was when he was fighting old boy in the London. I think it was the London one, wasn't it?
What? Are you sure they were outside of time, or? So, I think I know where you mean.
Yeah, it was like the one where the cloak of the flotation cloak.
No, that's when he made his way back into the Sanctum Sanctorum.
London Sanctum, right?
No, in New York. No, in New York. Yeah, in Greenwich. Yep.
That was hilarious when, Dr. Strange wanted to get the axe and the shield over here, and the cape was like, no, get this.
The cape had a lot of personality.
The cape was,
the cape of levitation.
Yep.
The cape of levitation was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, the cloak was.
He tried to hold his tears up with it. Dr. Strange was like, stop it.
Yeah. There was oh man, that was, I will say, that was one of the main things that I did like with the cape of levitation. That was,
and then I like the fact that the actor, I could really see a reflection of Doctor Strange. It was like Doctor Strange was lifted off the comic book pages and onto the movie. It was like, that's Doctor Strange. He even had the white in his hair.
He did have it.
I was like, and then his hair. I was like, yes, it's believable. That guy is Doctor Strange.
Yep. You gonna take a stab at the theme, or should I go?
You should go for right now.
One of the things that I liked about it was that when they finally did show the Sanctum Sanctorum in the Greenwich, they went ahead and they do this whole scene of just him walking through the sanctum, where he's walking through the relic room, and everything that's in the display cases and all of that were just all these different relics that they've shown actually in the comic books, and the whole part when he picks one of them up in his fight against I can't remember the guy, Mads Mikkelsen. I can't remember the character that he played, his name. Which, again, might reflect the fact that he's not a very memorable bad guy. But he picks up one of the relics and he stops. He doesn't want to sit there and approach Doctor Strange for a moment. And he's like, wait a minute, you don't know how to use that.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't. And he just throws it at him. That was pretty funny. The other thing that I really liked was, there are 2 post-credit scenes, ladies and gentlemen. And the one that they have him sitting down with a certain Norse god, that was fucking hilarious. That was great. Because that also clues into to Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Those were pretty much my favorite moments right there, or some of my favorite moments.
Okay. The whole scene where you see buildings and fucking damn. You talk about warping reality or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
These motherfuckers were jumping on the sides, and man, everything that they were doing at that time was making fucking sense. As far as jumping the sides of buildings and going upside down. Look, this looked like an animated cartoon.
Yeah.
For the most part, as far as how they were doing things and defying shit. Yeah. And I was very entertained by that. extremely entertained because I'm just like, especially when you got all this shit all around them and these motherfuckers are falling and building portals and going through them, and there was a fight scene that he actually pushed them into deserts and fucking
jungle
and changed the fucking scene, changed the
I
channel
was
whatever
watching
to
the
the
channel,
window.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was great.
It's just that, like you
Oh,
said,
but when he was fighting that guy, when you fight old dude, and the Cape told him to pick this thing up, and he threw it at him, and he fucking
Transformer. Like,
it did, and it locked him up for a while.
Damn.
Like, damn. Yeah, you should listen to that fucking Cape of levitation for now fucking on.
One more thing too is what I find kind of strange. No pun.
Dumb Tiss.
Was that the Ancient One, the way she
Oh.
died. I mean, for somebody to be so powerful that she didn't have the thought process to open up a portal after I know she fell for.
Well, she got stabbed.
No,
Yeah,
she got stabbed, and if you can't remember, he robbed the ring from her. He took the ring
He
from her.
took the ring from
He
her.
kicked her
Yeah,
through that
but-
portal.
Still, I know that. I mean, no, I know she took the ring from her, but you could still open up a portal without the ring, right?
No, that was how they opened
That
up
was
the
how they
portal.
were doing it.
Yeah.
No.
And they made
That's what
that a
Doctor
huge
Strange lost
point.
his for a while. He
Yeah.
couldn't do anything.
Yeah, they made that a huge point, like right leading up
Right
to
at
it.
the very beginning.
Yeah. So
But it's, I mean, again, you could not, please go see this in 3D, IMAX 3D, because all the stuff that the theme was talking about earlier, it's just the buildings and
That comes out very well in 3D.
the mirror world,
Oh, the mirror world was awesome.
and you're just like, unbelievable. I mean, I've never, like the Reverend was saying, I never really get wowed at 3D movie, but this one, I was like, whoa! I said that a couple times, just like especially when the Ancient One showed Strange the Dark World or parts of it,
Yeah.
and I was just like, it's just like, wow.
And there were a couple of twists with the Ancient One.
yeah, there was actually quite a few things that were pretty that were pretty interesting with the other surrounding characters and everything else.
But we didn't talk about what's his name?
What's his name?
Wong.
Oh, Wong.
The librarian?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Wong.
played an important part though, man.
He was a
Yeah.
good character.
And he's
Yeah, Wong was cool.
Doctor Strange figured out how to do the portals and
Oh,
was,
yeah.
taking books.
Taking books from the library when he wasn't supposed
He
to.
didn't have to take Wong's book though, man.
No, he didn't.
He did. Wong was like,
Yeah, he fucked with him.
it's
He
hilarious.
fucked with him. But
Yeah.
that was part of the comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely great. With that in mind, final grade, guys. What would you guys say is a final grade? I think last time we used or did we do grades or 4 out of 5 or
We letter grades.
yeah, we did letter grades for Shin Godzilla. So letter grades, gentlemen.
You might want to go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. This right here is probably probably one of the more visually impressive movies that I've seen in a long time. And as far as the Marvel movie goes, it's wholly enjoyable and everything else. There are its flaws. It's not a perfect movie. I would have to give it a solid B+. All right. I wouldn't put it up as an A, because this particular one I'm probably going to see over and over again, but it's going to be more for the visuals and all of that. And it's also going to probably be to go ahead and pick out little Easter eggs that are shoved in the background, because literally multiple of the scenes are like the inside of the, it's like looking into the inside of the collector's, collection room. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff out there where it's like, yeah, I recognize this, I recognize this, I recognize this, and recognize this. That said, there are some flaws that are showing up that are turning out to be common flaws with a lot of Marvel movies as they come out. some of the things I think they could have slowed down on. It would have been easier to understand. And really, there wasn't any way that I could realistically think that Doctor Strange was actually in trouble at any point. But aside from that, the movie is fucking enjoyable. It is really enjoyable. So B+ for me.
I will give it a B+ as well. The visuals alone, especially in 3D, was worth going to see the movie.
Yeah.
Then you didn't get totally disconnected from the movie at all. And how long was this movie? Was a couple of hours, and it didn't seem like that.
No, it moves quick. It moves very fast.
It really got you involved in the movie. It really put you in the movie. That it was like, oh, I'm still sitting here. Fuck, where's this shit? No, it didn't do that at all. And I was thoroughly impressed by the visuals. The story didn't disconnect me as far as saying, oh, no, man, we'll do it. No, it didn't do that. It had the right amount of comedy, and it had the correct pace as far as to saying, okay, we're here, now we're here, now we're here. Okay, here's a threat. Okay, here we go. It did that. Yes, it has its flaws, but from me, it deserves a B+ because of how it flowed and how it just went about. And the fucking visuals are amazing.
Yep. Great Mouse. What's your letter grade?
With this, I would give it a solid A, but I know as a visual, as a theatrical presentation, I give it an A. But I know that I will never see it in that quality ever again unless I go to see the movie while it's in the movie theater. So yeah, I'll take that down to a B+ with everybody else. The visual, it was just visually stunning. It really was. And like you said, it did fall in the same category that these Marvel movies have been coming to be known for. Is that?
But is that necessarily a bad thing?
No, well, it is. I do. I think it is. The superheroes are never at a point that's a believable in danger.
Yeah, you really don't feel like at any time that they're in dire peril.
Exactly, they're in no peril at all. You know who's going to. I have to say, but Civil War, I really thought that Captain America was going to actually kill Tony Stark. I was like, whoa, is he really going to do it when he raised that shield? But other Marvel movies, I'm like, no, they're going to get out of it. I know they're going to get out of it, so why even? Yeah, it's starting to become a problem, I guess. But otherwise, story-wise,
the ancient one passed away.
Yeah, but that's expected. But the story-wise, yes. The supporting characters, absolutely. What else was there? The comedy was point. You never, and again, like everybody else said here too, is that nobody sat there at the movie, in their chair like, oh God, when is this monstrosity going to end? So yeah, I give it a solid B+ as well. But and the only fact that I lowered it was because I know I'll never experience it in IMAX again.
One of the main reasons why I give it a B+ is because, oh my God, Stan Lee. Oh God.
Yeah, Stan Lee's cameo is great, like it always is. Yeah,
and obvious. There's going to be a sequel to this. There will be a part 2 down the road.
Yeah,
there will be. Because the way they set it up in one of the after credit scenes, but I can appreciate that.
Yep. Yes.
Well, I think, to be honest, again, like I said, my closing thoughts now, I think is that once the Infinity War gets done, there's still going to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe. And that's when I think that these type of movies are really going to shine. Like when I started at the beginning, I said, well, I felt that the movie was, it's got to fold around the Infinity. It's got to put, it's got Infinity Gems. But once that's finished, then I think that's when the real potential of these Marvel movies are going to, because there's,
Well, Spider-Man: Homecoming, I don't think is going to have an Infinity Stone wrapped around it.
yeah, we don't know.
Well, maybe Guardians 2 won't.
Yeah.
Fucking Ant-Man and Wasp won't.
But I'm thinking that once they get out of that Infinity thing, I think it's really going to start to blossom and really start to be more enjoyable. I mean, they're all enjoyable. I mean, I don't think we've had a bad Marvel movie.
Well, there's been some more than others.
Yeah.
A bad one that's to say, oh, yeah, it sucked.
Not in this cinematic universe.
Hey, no, well, DC says hello to that.
Yeah, that's right.
I think right now one of the things that we have to deal with is the fact that a lot of the storyline, even though there are many things that they can't use from the comic book storyline, a lot of the cinematic
Shove it
universe.
down to 2 hours.
What's up?
Especially to shove it down to 2 hours.
Well, I'm not talking about Infinity War or anything. I'm talking about just as a whole.
That's what I mean.
A lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is still kind of a slave to the comic book stories that are out there. So if you're a real geek, yeah, a lot of this stuff may not be a complete surprise. Okay, and you don't want to be that asshole who starts announcing things before they fucking happen in the movie theater. All right. But yeah, it's just one of the things that we're going to have to deal with until we get to a point where there's this great divergence between, okay, where do the Marvel movies stop? Or excuse me, where do the Marvel comic book stories stop? And where do the cinematic stories really start to take off on their own? That's going to be rather interesting. So, I mean, I guess you can count me as somebody who's looking forward to like phase 13, 16, 17, 26. If I live that long, you know, I think the other middle-aged guys will probably agree with me in saying that if it goes on that long, they're probably going to be looking forward to that also.
They're really, to me, there's really not, and well, there may be one or two more storylines that could actually, that as big as Infinity. Once the Infinity War gets done, then they're gonna have to. There's some more storylines that can bring people back together again. But I really think that once we finish Infinity, that's Infinity Wars. That's when Marvel and the superhero cinematic universe will really start shining. Because right now we're all coalescing to a ball. And then once we get done with the Infinity War, it's going to blow up. It's going to come out, and you're going to start seeing,
You see, the funniest part about that is that when they were building up to just the Avengers,
yeah,
they did that.
yeah,
Now they're building up to the Infinity War.
yeah,
Because before they did everything individually to build up to the Avengers. And then when you saw Thanos, it's like, oh, shit. And then now they're doing the Infinity War. And like you said, then they can go to probably something else after that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like you said, phase 14, phase 15, bring it on.
Yep.
I'll be geeking it out till the day I die.
When we're past middle age and then we're just old guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Old guys.
The old guys.
When we're golden age guys.
Golden age guys.
There you go, right there.
Golden age guys. Yeah.
Well, we'll be doing that. I mean, look, I'll be a Marvel fan and a geek to the day I die.
Nerds!
Yep. Up until that point, we can all go ahead and look forward to the type of balls Marvel will offer us to play with. With that, folks, thank you for sticking with us all the way up to this end of this video. This is our Doctor Strange movie review with a few spoilers sprinkled in at the end. If you think we've missed anything, or if you have comments about the movie, go out of your way. Tell us what you think. Leave us a comment below. All right. If you're so kind, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We really appreciate it, because otherwise, what else are we going to do this for? All right. We are the middle-aged guys. We've been bullshitting about Doctor Strange, the movie, for the last, I think, 50 minutes now. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Gray Mouse 1.
Entertainment, movies. All of it has a right to exist, even if you don't like it. Credits.